Hello and welcome to China Focus. I'm Shelley Zhang. The ancient Mayans believed that December 21st, 2012 marked the end of a 5,000-year calendar cycle. Now, according to an Ipsos survey earlier this year, about 10% of people around the world believe that December 21st will be the date that the world ends. Now, in China, that number is 20%. Twice as high as the average. Now here today to talk about why Chinese people are thinking so much about the end of the world and what they're thinking about, we have Karen Chang and Jason Ma. Thanks for joining us today. So Jason, is there kind of a historical or cultural kind of background for people believing in the end of the world in China, like this kind of doomsday or apocalypse?
In fact, on the contrary, I mean, in Chinese culture has no this kind of end of world kind of concept until recently. It's different from kind of Western world because the Western they dominate of the Christian belief. So the Bible do have this implication of end of world.
There's like doomsday, judgment day.
Judgment day, those kind of things. But in China, because for 1,000 years they have this Buddhism religion, and Buddhism don't really care about this world, so they mainly talk about cultivation to achieve the kind of to get to another world. So they don't care whether this world is end of day or not. So they don't have this culture. So it's new to Chinese, and so it's kind of surprising to even to me. Like 20% of people quickly kind of accept this concept. Yeah.
So why are so many people talking about it? Is it just that people are more exposed to kind of like popular culture now in China?
I think it is. I mean, there's the flourish of the internet. So many more people can get online and not see just what's in China, but those who are able to overcome the censorship can see what everyone else around the world is talking about. And this also gives them something else to think about outside of their daily grind, basically, going to work, coming home. This concept, I think, has prompted a lot of people to think about, if this day was going to be the end of day, what am I going to do for the next 2 weeks, next month, next year, or whatever? So it gives them something to think about.
So it's just kind of like a novel concept that a lot of people have been bringing up the movie 2012, in which China played a huge part.
Right. Indeed, that's true. I mean, about like at end of November, the 3D of 2012 first kind of have the kind of show in China. That really kind of create a kind of visual image about what is kind of underworld situation, and then that's kind of reinforced by this Maya prediction, and also the kind of a lot of some other theories pump up in the internet when all the information visually kind of materially kind of dumped to people, and people just kind of quickly get it. And of course there is kind of a social foundation behind it, and a lot of people kind of in China. Not kind of a large percentage, but a lot of kind of people in China right now do have this kind of there is no potential kind of hope in their life in China, kind of society. And although material-wise, people in China right now kind of have enough food for most of people, they have clothes, have a house, but spiritually kind of they don't have anything kind of to hand on. And this kind of group of people do have a kind of a reason to think about something started from scratch, something kind of new, something end the current kind of routine life. So this kind of unconscious kind of desire for a change also kind of make people easy to accept the concept of the kind of end of world.
So when you talk about people in China are hoping for change, maybe,
right.
Are you talking about people who are kind of like downtrodden, like we're talking rural migrants, people who have like kind of tough daily lives?
It's including those kind of people, because we run into a lot of kind of Chinese people. They do have a lot of concern about the moral kind of situation in China, the social stability, and the fix of the class of China. Basically, it's kind of a lot of policy make people very hard to move from one letter to another letter, and because of the education system, because many other situations. So a lot of people are running into the situation where kind of they can survive without any problem. They can have food, they can have a kind of a place to live, but they don't have any hope to move up. And this kind of a fixture of their life makes them feel like they hope there is change. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the reactions of people. It made the news over the last week because there was a run on candles in Sichuan province. What was behind that?
So there was this rumor going online that from December 21st, the Earth was going to be plunged into 3 days of darkness, and that was basically going around, and a lot of people believed that and actually went to the shops that sold candles and just hoarded them back home. And even Sichuan Xinhua news agency reported about it. And they were saying that most of the people that believed this rumor were more elderly people. They heard this and they thought it was going to happen, so they did this. And more young people weren't really, buying into it. But they did see this happening not in just one isolated place, but in several places around Sichuan province.
So that people were kind of believed that they heard this rumor and they basically believed it, that there was going to be 3 days of darkness.
Right, I guess this is also probably, if that's old people, they do in our lifetime experience some very material hardship. Like basically they run into a situation where they have little food or something. So whenever they heard this kind of rumor, they will have the mentality like, why not I prepare for it? Because they do experience something like in their younger age.
So you're saying if they live through the Great Leap Forward, 3 days of darkness may not seem so hard to believe?
They can just prepare for it and it'll be fine.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Is there a difference in how Chinese people are reacting versus people, otherwise in the world who believe that the world may be ending? Or
my understanding is that there is kind of a clear difference. The difference is kind of overall there in China, because this is a concept relatively new to them. So everyone facing this huge amount of information, they have a spectrum of kind of belief. Like basically, you will see some people truly believe, some people kind of somewhat believe, some people laugh at it, and also kind of like 20% of people consider them as the kind of belief category, and a huge, even bigger amount of people put them into the middle ground. And it's kind of different from the what happened in the Western world, because the Western world was exposed to this concept for 2,000 years. So people here already set up their mind. A lot of people kind of they are more kind of clear cut, like I believe it or you don't believe it. So basically it's kind of there are people who are so kind of believe it, so they act on it, they live on it. It's a word called prepper. Basically, the people prepare for this kind of thing in their daily life. But most of the mainstream is generally kind of don't believe it. So kind of I think the major difference in China, when people are facing this new concept, there is kind of a green kind of whole spectrum of people in every part of the belief.
Mm-hmm. And you've seen news reports about how different people have reacted. Just a couple of days ago, the Shanghai police actually posted a message on their Weibo account saying that they've received 25 accounts of people basically saying that December 21st is going to be the end of the world, and they're basically telling people don't listen to this rumor. So some people are believing it, and there have also been reports where people have mortgaged their houses so that they can donate their belongings. People have sold what they have and started committing robbery. There were two brothers back in 2009 started robbing people because they thought the world was going to end, so whatever they did didn't matter. So you do see this kind of reactions and how people would respond differently to when the world is going to end.
Well, you mentioned how the Shanghai police posted something saying the end of the world's not happening. And that's pretty normal, actually. The U.S. government and NASA actually posted something too about how people, it's just a rumor, it's not going to happen, because they're afraid people would hurt themselves or something like that if they believed it too much. But what was one of the interesting reactions on Weibo was what somebody said in response, like the government has denied the rumor. That
it
means
must be true.
It must be true. So
that's another very, very Chinese characteristic kind of situation. I mean, because in China, it's always like that. If the Chinese government is saying nothing, that's the best scenario. I mean, if the Chinese government begin to deny something, wow, that makes things looks really, really kind of
so credible. In a way, they were just this person on Weibo was kind of using the end of the world to kind of joke about a larger reality about Chinese society. Are we seeing stuff like that? People kind of using it to talk about things in Chinese society?
Yeah. Do kind of some people, they kind of use this as a scenario of kind of saying like Chinese shouldn't really worry about end of world, because for example, they use this as a kind of a scenario to express their kind of complaint about the Chinese food safety. They said when we are eating this kind of poison every day, I mean, kind of why should we care about the end of the world? I mean, we are living end of the world. I mean, something like that. So kind of people do use this kind of scenario to express their complaint, but I think it's definitely built on this kind of a general kind of cultural kind of environment. It's millions of discussion on this so that people can use this as a way to carry on other topic.
There was a sarcastic post that I saw in response to Julia Gillard, the Prime Minister of Australia, who did
like she did a spoof press conference.
Basically,
right?
that's right. And one person said, "Oh, don't believe it. The Communist Party hasn't said so." Until they announce it, then it's not true. So it's being sarcastic, but it kind of shows how a lot of Chinese people see the government really tries to control everything, and until they say something is so, it's not until then.
So I guess this is kind of overall a very, very interesting kind of a cultural phenomenon in China. It's a kind of something I think reflect a lot of things. Of course, people who choose to believe in this, they have different reasons. I mean, everyone has their own reasons. Some people, and it's really kind of it's a very kind of, how to kind of say that, it's a perfect storm. It's have nothing to do with religion, because Christian religion in China is not kind of so influential. So all the previous kind of prediction, which is coming from the Bible, which is many people in China don't buy it. But this time it's about profit from Asian culture. People in China truly kind of believe something like that.
They value ancient culture.
Right. And also it's kind of something like a science. People talking about the reverse of the Earth's magnetic field. With science, people buy that in science. And also there is kind of prediction from the princess from Japan. And so all these kind of things click together. Even like people there is a perfect book in Chinese called 推背图. It's in that book they even go back to find a sentence over there talking about in Dragon Year there will be a renewal of the world. So everything clicked together, build up this whole thing, which is perfect for Chinese to accept it. People who believe in kind of Chinese history, who believe in Asian culture, believe in science. I mean, everyone has a reason to buy in it. So that's the reason so many people just kind of get into it.
Well, it's not the end of the world yet, but it is the end of our show. So thank you both for joining us today to talk about this topic. And thank you for watching. For other topics on China, join us at ntd.tv.